All right, yeah, I don't really have a point with today's podcast. It's basically just it's going to be me complaining, I reckon, about 2020. 2020 has been the worst year, but the best year, the best worst year, the worst best year, the worst best worst best of the worst, the worst of the best. It's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. G'day sports to all my friends listening here today. All you lovely people, you cats, you dogs, you iguanas, you horses, you cats. Again? Cats? What? You carrots. Ninjin-san. Renkon-san. Yeah, I've been learning some nursery rhymes. My name is Sham. Sham no Shamu. I'm not a cat, I'm a human, and I am the bloke who is in charge of Green Square Cafe here in Komae, Tokyo. It's an Eikaiwa cafe where you can sit back, relax, and get better at English. Somehow. I'm not going to explain how. Himitsu desu. It's a secret, yeah? Come down and you will find out how to get better at English. But I guarantee you one thing. You will get better at English. Okay, yeah, as I said last time, our opening hours are a little bit different. They're from 10 to 7. Sometimes we're not open. It depends on the situation with the little lad, the little Leo. Because if he's sick, or if he needs something, I tend to go and help him out. Yeah, and if Hitomi needs any help, I'll try and help her out as well. So I apologize again if there's any inconvenience caused, but please don't base your entire day around coming to the cafe unless you have reserved a lesson. And to everyone listening, please come and reserve lessons. Please, I have no money. I'm joking, but please come and reserve your lessons. We are open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. from Tuesday to Saturday. Sundays we are open until 1 p.m. and Mondays we are closed. Check out the website for transcripts of the lesson. It always has extra content, extra lesson information. You could download them at www.greensquare.jp. www.greensquare.jp. That www went a bit strange, didn't it? It's www.greensquare.jp. Yeah. So welcome to the podcast called Sham Talk. Yep, it's me, Sham, and I'm talking today again alone. I guarantee you in the future there will be a guest. I guarantee you. Just wait a little bit longer. So yeah, today I'm just talking about 2020 and how it's the worst, best, worst year. So first, the worst things. Well, coronavirus, obviously, coronavirus is absolutely horrible and it's killed so many people. I hope you are alive. You, if you're listening to this, I hope you are alive. It has killed a lot of people. And there's a lot to say about coronavirus. I've said some already during a very old COVID-19 podcast. It seems that the COVID curve has been leveling off. People are wising up. They are wearing masks. Uniqlo. They have made a specific mask. They've made a special mask for this. Airism mask. It's already sold out as of today. It was in stock and then it got sold out straight away in Ginza. It looks fairly interesting, pretty interesting. I've got a mask. I've got a few different masks. First, I bought a black mask from Koko Kara Fine. Yeah. And then I bought another one off Amazon, which was very, very fancy. It's a green one. And I bought a white mask. There were 2 masks in one pack. I bought a set of white masks from Mujirishi. And they're pretty good, actually. They're quite nice so far. The Uniqlo masks appear to be very interesting because they have filters inside of them and all that jazz. I'm a little bit curious to see how the sales of masks in the future will go, because these disposable masks seem to be obsolete now, somewhat. Because now everyone has reusable masks, there doesn't seem to be any need to buy these disposable masks. So I'm quite curious to see what will happen with these mask companies. I mean, for them, COVID-19 seemed to be like, oh yes, profit, 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 ka-ching, ka-ching. But in actual fact, people aren't buying masks. I don't think they would want to buy masks, and maybe they will buy masks as an emergency, but I think people are more likely to buy reusable masks now. So companies like Muji and Uniqlo, and maybe fashion companies, can capitalize on the whole world's caution and being careful in regard to flu and COVID-19. I think wearing masks will no longer be just an Asian tradition or part of the Asian culture. It will also be part of Western culture, American culture, British, French, Italian culture, and I think it's become a new norm. And that's it. 2020 is the year of the new norm. It's the worst new norm and the best new norm. New norm. I mean, one of the best things now, a child was born. Well, a couple of children were born. Well, a few million, I suppose. But my baby was born, Leo. Hitomi and I had Leo. He was born, and he's like a little ray of sunshine in this world. He's come during coronavirus, and he's just been like, yeah, whatever, man, coronavirus. Pff, I don't care about coronavirus. I'm here to make all of you people, well, I'm here to make mum and dad feel a little bit happier in this world, in the face of coronavirus. So that's pretty good. That's the best thing that's happened this year. Another bad thing, Black Lives Matter. Well, that's not a bad thing, but you know, the deaths of black people this year. George Floyd, that whole movement has, I mean, it's a bad situation, but the best thing to come from it is that hopefully there will be reform, more money invested in poorer communities for black people. Oh, no, not just for black people, but for poorer communities. Of course, black people have suffered disproportionately in America, but hopefully the larger problem of poverty and wealth disparity, the difference between rich people and poor people in America, can be fixed with community investment. I don't think it's a good idea to defund the police. Myself, I think that's a bad idea. I don't think all police officers are racist. I think you should increase funding for police. They should be trained better. They should be trained more effectively. And there should be a stricter vetting policy of police officers to make sure that they are not racist or harbour any kind of racist attitudes towards black people or Mexican people or, I don't know, Indian people, Asian people, I don't know, anyone, basically. there should be more training, but there should be an increase in funding, a massive, massive increase in funding for poorer communities. I guess another terrible thing are the protests and the riots in Hong Kong. We talked about that in the last podcast, which I recorded just 2 hours ago, actually. I'm recording back-to-back podcasts. Yes, those are pretty bad. They're terrible. These riots and these protests which are happening around the world, and well, in Hong Kong, actually, the ones that I'm mentioning, they're very, very bad. And recently China has subverted more of Hong Kong's power by creating laws designed to strip away the autonomy of Hong Kong. So please keep up to date with that information. But another good thing. Green Square Cafe is open. I started this podcast in 2020 because I started Green Square Cafe. There have been a lot of good things this year to bless my life. There have been so many good things. I've met so many lovely, lovely people, so many new students who have come to Green Square Cafe, and thank you to all of them. Excuse me. And thank you to anyone who has taken lessons. I really, really appreciate your help, your continued support, because I did start this cafe at the worst possible time during the outbreak of a global pandemic. That hasn't been terribly easy, if I'm being honest. But thank you to everyone who has supported me. I really, really appreciate and love every single one of you. And I love teaching you and spending time with you and talking with you about different topics. Truly, I do. And I guess 2020 hasn't been the worst year. It hasn't. Coronavirus, it's been terrible. Absolutely terrible. But for me, it has been not so bad. I have been tremendously lucky, and I know I've been very lucky. I know that I'm a lucky person. My loved ones are safe. My mum is safe. My sister is safe. My aunties are safe. My uncles are safe. My child was born healthy. My girlfriend is healthy. All of my students that I've met, you have all told me you are healthy and safe. Your children are safe, and for that I am grateful. I am one of the lucky ones. Not everyone has been so lucky. Millions of people are dealing with grief because hundreds of thousands of people have died because of this illness. So it is the worst. Absolutely the worst. But thank you to everyone who has made this an amazing year so far for me, and I can't thank you enough. I have had a few people who have come to me and they've said that they've listened to the podcast. Some new students, they've come up and like, Sham Talk, yeah, I listen, it's pretty good. Thank you very much to these students, and anyone who is not a student, I hope you continue to listen, and I hope you like and subscribe to our lessons. Well, to the podcast, sorry. Recent news, I think I should talk about recent news. Look, this podcast, this issue of the podcast, this episode has no real agenda. It's just highlighting good things and bad things, and recent news for me. What have I been doing during the podcast? During COVID-19. Well, one of the things I've been doing is recording the podcast. Staying at home, one of the things that I did was teach lessons via Zoom. And I suppose that is one of the silver linings. I now provide online lessons should you need them. And I didn't have any plans to provide online lessons, to provide video lessons, but now I do have a system in place for people who want to take video lessons. So that's a good thing that has come out of COVID-19 for me. Another thing, I've been learning to cook. I've been cooking a lot more to help Hitomi look after Leo. I've been trying to take away some of her stress by cooking. So I've been cooking things like chicken breast. I've been looking at recipes and videos, especially Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay, if you are listening, I don't know why Gordon Ramsay would be listening, but Gordon Ramsay, if you ever do listen to this podcast, thank you very much. You have made me a better father. This is weird. You've made me a better father and a better boyfriend. I've been making your scrambled eggs. Can't get creme fraiche, but I've been using cream and I've been adding chives. And I've been making chicken breast and potatoes. And your meatball recipe and a coconut broth. And a hot and spicy soup with the meatballs, and I've been making a lot of different things thanks to you, Gordon Ramsay, and you've shown me that it is quite easy excuse me, it is quite easy to make good food at home. So thank you very much for your videos and for always helping. Gordon Ramsay also does have some videos on YouTube about cooking, and he is a phenomenal chef, so I recommend everyone to check those out. The other thing I've been doing is I've been learning how to sew. Yeah, I've been learning how to sew, and I helped Hitomi make a baby mobile for Leo. That was pretty cool. We made different animals out of felt. Another thing which I've started to do is grow my own herbs. So I've been using this worst situation, COVID-19, to learn new things. 1, cooking. 2, sewing. 3, growing herbs and vegetables. And 4, I've learnt about pixel art. In Japanese, maybe dotto art. Pixel art. Because, you know, just learn new things when you've got the time. I would love to always be able to learn new things, and I think it's important for people to learn new things. Not just to pass the test. It's important to learn new things just for the sake of learning. Just for the sake of being wise. It's important to learn new things. Which brings me on to my final point. No, before that, I'm going to tell you some of the things that I'm growing. Actually, I'm growing basil, parsley. I'm growing chives, coriander, and I'm growing. What else am I growing? I'm growing rosemary. Yeah, I took a clipping of rosemary from a bush, and I planted it in some soil, and it's starting to grow very slowly, but it's starting to grow. Oh yeah, and I'm growing algae-sol. Shiso is so easy to grow. Oh my god, it grows so quickly, and hello, it's fantastic. It tastes absolutely delicious. A bit of pasta with some olive oil, chili pepper with algae-sol and some shirasu. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, really, really nice. Yes, which brings me on to my final point now. Now is my final point. I've also been making some alphabet cards. So if you have children who you would like to teach the alphabet to, I'm making these alphabet animal cards so that they can learn the alphabet and learn some animals. And on the back there will be some information about the animals, some adjectives and the habitats of the animals and some distinctive features of the animals. So make sure you check out the website and come in to Green Square Cafe and have a look. We are also taking every precaution we can to keep clean. I'm wiping down the tables after everyone leaves. I'm also wiping the door handles. There is some alcohol by the entrance for you to sterilize your hands. And I am wearing a mask. Like I said, I bought a mask from Muji, Amazon, and Coca-Cola Fine. And when the Uniqlo mask comes back into stock, I am going to buy that mask as well because it looks awesome. It's now a fashion statement, I think. Yeah. That's our podcast for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Didn't really talk about much, but yeah. What about you? How has 2020 been for you? Do you think it's been the worst? Or has it been the best? Or has it not been so bad? I'm sorry to anyone who thinks it's been the worst, but for me it hasn't. It hasn't been the worst for me. I haven't had any problems. My business has had problems because of coronavirus, but I can't complain. Everyone I love and care about is healthy. My students are healthy. And it's forced me to adopt different strategies for the business, which I think ultimately they are good for my business. So I can't complain. It's been good. It's been the best year. 2020 has been the best year. One of my favorite years. And I apologize if it hasn't been for you. But I hope from now your year is good. And I hope you get to enjoy what's left of the year. Really, I do. I sincerely hope anyone listening enjoys the year. If you want to enjoy the year more, go to www.greensquare.jp and download the podcasts, download our transcripts, and have a look at our gallery, have a look at our Google Maps page, and if you have a time, please give us a review, preferably a 5-star review. That would be really, really lovely. And like and subscribe this channel, however you're listening to it, on SoundCloud or YouTube. I would be very, very happy. Anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Be blessed.